Hey, it's Gabe, and today I'm going to be introducing you to the blues scale. So if you've learned your minor pentatonics, it's going to be a really easy addition that we're going to be making. We're going to add one note to it, and you'll be able to play the blues. All right, so get tuned up. Okay, so the blues scale is essentially the minor pentatonic scale that I've showed you in previous lessons. So when I introduced, some lead guitar scales and techniques and things, we had been working with our A minor pentatonic scale. So just to kind of refresh, is your first finger's on the 5th fret on the 6th string. You're going to go 1, 4 on the next string, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. So our A minor pentatonic. And all we're going to add is one note. And when I say one note, it's one note, but you're going to do it in different octaves, in different places across the strings. So here's where it's going to occur. So you're going to start your scale exactly the same way. You're going to go 1, 4, and then the next string, we're going to go 1, 2. And that note underneath your second finger right now is what you would call the blues note. So, okay, you can hear it's kind of dissonant. And I'm going to tell you what you can do with that so you can make it sound more musical and it doesn't sound too dissonant. And then you continue your scale exactly the same way. So I'm going to start again. So 1, 4, and then 1, 2, 3. Then on the next string, 1, 3, just like we had from before. Next string, 1, 3. And then here's where we're going to add that note again, but this time it's going to be the pinky. Okay, so octave from the first one that we added, right? It was underneath our second finger. Now it's underneath our pinky on the 3rd string. So I'm going to play everything we have so far. So it's 1, 4, 1, 2. There's our blues note. 3. The next string. 1, 3. The next string. 1, 3. Pinky. There's our blues note. And then the next 2 strings, just like the normal minor pentatonic. 1, 4, 1, 4. So here's the whole thing. Okay, I'll do descending. All right, so what that note is, this dissonant note, what people sometimes call it is a flat 5, or you could call it a tritone. Some people might even say sharp 4. That's a lot of theory and things that I can tell you another point in time. But essentially what it is if you think of your power chords. So if you know power chords, you've got your root, and you have what's called your 5th. Right? Nice power chord, 1 and 3, full step apart. So that note that's a half step below my 3rd finger is my blues note. So here's my 1 and my 5. Half step down, there's my blues note. Okay? Right? Again, it sounds pretty dissonant. So here's what you can do to make it sound musical without making it sound so harsh with what you're playing over. And there's 2 ways to kind of think of this. So anytime you play a note that sounds kind of dissonant and isn't normally part of the scale that you're playing with, you can treat it in 2 different ways. And the first way is to use what's called a passing tone type of rule, which is, for example, when we play our scale, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. So we're using that note in the middle as a passing tone. We're passing right through it. You can pass through it going down. Okay, so if you play a line, I'm not emphasizing that blues note. I'm not trying to make it sound dissonant. There are ways to do that, and that'll be something, again, in a future lesson. But for right now, if you just think of it as de-emphasizing it. So for example, I'm placing it on an upbeat. So I'm going down on a scale tone, upbeat, bad note. For us, it's the blues note right now. Down again on a good note, scale tone again. So down, up, bad note, down, good notes. And again, you can do it descending. So good note, bad note on the up, good note on the downbeat again. Okay? And this works no matter which octave you're in. So if I do it up here, or... Okay? The other way that you can do this is what's called a neighboring tone. So for example, I'm at home right here. Here's my scale tone. I'm going to go visit my neighbor, the blues note. And I'm going to go back home. So you can hammer it, you can pull off however you want to get to it. You can slide it if you want to. Right? You probably heard lines like this. Okay? And you can do it up at the top too. So if I'm home right here, slide out to my neighbor, come back home, okay? All right? You can also do the neighbor from above. So if I have a second home, a vacation home, all right, here it is above my blues note, which is going to be my middle finger. So I can stay at my vacation home, go visit my neighbor below, come back up to my home, okay? Right, there's one way to do that. So I'm on my home note, go visit the neighbor, come back home, did a passing tone on the way down right there. Okay, so if you approach that blues note using these two strategies, passing tones and neighboring tones, you will never play that note and make it sound like it doesn't fit. There's a way to do that, again, and that would be sort of placing it on the downbeat on purpose. But for right now, I want you to, again, de-emphasize it. So there's other ways that you can do this. Instead of hammering or sliding, is you can bend it. Okay, so I've showed you licks before in other lessons. For example, on the 3rd string, 7th fret, I might push that up a whole step normally. There's the blues note. I bent it a half step that time. So you can do lines like this. So I did a full step bend, brought it back down, pulled off to the note on the 1st finger, and then I'm going to do a half step bend now. Okay, so there's lots of different ways to get that bluesy kind of sound into your playing. And you can do this over a blues backing track, kind of like what I showed you in the intro, or you can do this over just a normal groove. So anything that you're doing something minor with, throw in that note if you want to give it a blues kind of flavor. Okay, so I'm going to throw on a backing track. It's in the key of A minor. It's kind of a slow, sort of funk kind of groove. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play that blues scale on top of it, and you'll hear that it gives my lines kind of a blues flavor. So here we go. All right, I hope you enjoyed the lesson and you get your blues going on, and I will see you in future lessons. And if you are in the LA area and you've enjoyed the lessons, I hope you'll come sign up for some private lessons with me. It is www.thelordofthestrings.com, and I will see you soon.